Good morning and welcome to John O'Groats. This is day 2 of the NC500. We rode up yesterday from Aviemore, which is just outside Inverness. We've had a little bit of breakfast. We've been down to the official John O'Groats sign and done the obligatory picture. I even took my bike up to the sign. There's nothing to say you can't do it. It is steep, it's a path and it's gravel, but there were no people there at the time, so I didn't disturb anybody, and it gets a nice picture. So this is day 2. We're going across the very north coast now. There's Ross there, he's leading. I'll be in second place. Behind me we've got Greg. You may recognise Greg's bike. It is my other bike. He has borrowed that because his has been stolen. Behind that, who have we got behind that? I don't actually know. Oh Christ, that's James and somebody else, Stevie. And so we're going across via Thurso and the Dounreay nuclear power station. It's the A836 and the A838. They are reasonably narrow, as there's Angus taking some pictures as we leave. Weather looks beautiful. It was a bit cold yesterday. By the end of the day, I've got my hoodie on today. I'm still on the tinted visor because the sun is very bright. I've bought myself a replacement or alternative clear visor, which may or may not get implemented very soon, because apparently it's going to tip down later, which is all we want. But hey, we're in Scotland. So going to a place called Scourie. Got me tent. I'll be in the tent tonight, and it's a cliff top campsite overlooking the sea. Looking forward to that. The Sea View Hotel, which I spent last night in the glamping pod at John O'Groats, highly recommended and very good value. There it is in the background. Definitely look it up. Let's go. Right, so the first bit, as you can probably see, it's really flat. It's really bleak, and there's no trees really. It's still attractive, but I mean, I don't know much about the north coast. We're going to be heading to a place called Dunnet Bay. Now, interesting. Oh, over there, look, that's Stroma Island. It's not one of the Orkneys. It's only 2 miles. It's an uninhabited island. It's 2 miles off the north coast. And then it's about another 4 miles from there. Now, Ross is pointing at something. I have no idea what it is. I can't see anything. Might be a bird. Anyway, so Stroma Island, that's uninhabited. And then the Orkneys above that, which you can see. Now, John O'Groats, here's a fact for you. Everybody thinks it's the most northerly place in the UK. It isn't. Or Great Britain, I should say. It isn't. Dunnet Head is the most northerly place. We're not going to go there. We're going to just skirt by. But I mean, these roads are quite pleasant. And they're very empty. I haven't seen the hordes of camper vans yet. I've seen various things in the paper about nightmare camper vanners, motorhomes, whatever, blocking the roads, getting away. We just haven't experienced them yet. That doesn't mean they're not here. That might be further around in the Highlands, to be fair. There's Dunnet Head in the distance. You can see the cliffs. That is the most northerly point on Great Britain. I think John O'Groats, and the reason John O'Groats gets all the press, is because that's the longest distance you can do, John O'Groats to Land's End. Interestingly, I do believe that Land's End isn't the most southerly point either. I believe it's Lizard Point, but we're not going there, so it doesn't matter. I mean, this countryside is so flat, you could be in East Anglia. To be fair, I don't know what I expected up here. It's certainly not mountainous. And And as I said in some of the previous, I think it was the previous day, there's a cemetery there, look at that. As I said in the previous day's riding, about doing it anti-clockwise, you don't get the sun in your eyes. No, the sun is behind us, it's quite nice. However, it's sufficiently high in the sky, it wouldn't be in your eyes anyway. There's a lot of bracken in this landscape. That's the yellow flowers at the side of the road. That there on the right is St John's Lough. And we'll see Dunnet Bay in a minute. It's apparently quite impressive. Nowhere has been a disappointment so far. Here's Dunnet, or the village of at least. And there is Dunnet Bay, look at that. I mean, I know it's windy, but the wind is giving the sea some amazing waves. Look at the white horses on the sea and the white. Oh, we're going in there, right? Okay. Stunning, absolutely stunning. Oh. This is beautiful, isn't it? Don't forget people.
Greg!
Don't forget people need petrol. It's closed yesterday. Don't forget people need petrol. Isn't it stunning? This calls for the telescopic tripod. So this is Dunnet Beach. This is the start of day 1 or day 2, depending on how you... I know day 2. We're riding from John O'Groats over to Scourie. We didn't fill up for petrol in John O'Groats because the petrol pump was broken, but apparently there's one 15 minutes that way. Right, so we're setting off again. Here's a little thing to point out. A few of the guys who've come on this trip have brought flasks of tea, which they've made on the campsite and filled up. I didn't think of doing that. I've got a bottle of water. I think a flask of tea is probably a good thing. You've got the side panniers, you've got the luggage, you might as well. Also, you'll notice some of these people aren't the group I'm riding with. That's actually... who's that? That's the moderate group. So there's 3 groups: fast, moderate, relaxed. The guy on the Irish plated Gixxers is in the moderate group. We're off. Just waiting for some others though, I think, because it's there, but there's always a lot of faffing on these things. I can see why some people do it on their own. The other week I was at some tyre place in Cambridge talking to a woman who runs her own motorcycle training school, and she says she does the NC500 only on her own. I do understand why already, because you won't have the faff. There, so we've got the big stick on. Interesting campsite there, even though it's run by those idiots. That would be a good place to stop, although it's very, very exposed. And if you're going to be that isolated and exposed, you may as well wild camp. So we're just heading south now. That's why the sun's in my eyes, hence I'm enjoying the fact that I've got the tinted visor. We're going round Dunnet Bay and then up the other side. I just hope that this weather holds. We'll be heading through a place called Castletown and then into Thurso itself. We're not going to stop in Thurso. we'll be going straight out the other side. Now, I think this is Thurso. I'm not actually sure, but it's got an Audi or a Lidl or whatever that was on the side. Lovely view. Here's an interesting fact about Thurso. Thurso is the most northerly point on the British railway network and has the most northerly railway station in the United Kingdom. And we are now taking a little detour. Now, what I like about what Ross has done is included all these little detours. We're taking a detour into a place called Scrabster. Now, it's probably not a particularly tourist place, but it does have a nice cafe, I'm assured. And I do like a nice cafe, bacon sandwich, sausage. Not everyone's had breakfast this morning. So we're going to call down this place. It's a fishing port, and I believe it does shellfish. And there is a particularly good cafe where we can get some food. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier as well. You know, don't just ride round it, explore. There's a lot of shit in the paper about people doing the NC500 and contributing nothing to the economy. That's absolutely not true. We're going in cafes, we're staying on campsites, we're going in restaurants. We're spending a bloody fortune, to be fair. So that's Scrabster. Mainly industrial, but all fishing related. And particularly on this part of the route where you don't have the amazing scenery, little detours like this are fun. There's some old fishermen's cottages there on the left. Good. Right, so this is called the Peerie Café. Here come the rest. There's the... Right, apologies for earlier. It's Steve on the CBR is the guy's name. I couldn't remember. He's come all the way from Switzerland. Right, let's get some food and then we'll carry on. So, back on the road. Unfortunately, when we were in the cafe, it absolutely began to tip down. That over there in the distance at Dounreay now, it's been so wet. Some people have put their waterproofs on, and to be fair, it was lucky it started when we were in the cafe because it gave them an opportunity to do it. I don't wear waterproofs. Reason I don't wear waterproofs is because once you're wet, you put the waterproof over whatever you're wearing, it traps the water in there, you sweat, and quite frankly you end up stinking. I like to wear my hoodie, the hoodie gets wet, the minute it stops raining, the wind from riding dries it out really quickly. But that was Dounreay behind me, and it's a decommissioned nuclear power station. There's something else as well, there's like a naval nuclear power thing going on as well. Don't really know what that is. Is that it? No, we've passed it. It's a shame you can't do a tour of Dounreay. I did look online to see if you can, and it's not possible to do any sort of tour. Alright, so we got roadworks. See, we're sneaking to the front. See, I wouldn't sneak there. Okay. Okay. I wouldn't have done that, but most drivers are quite courteous and do look out for bikes, so that is a good thing. Right, so we've just passed through a place called Melvich, where there's a nice beach. We didn't go in, but you could see it. This is where the countryside now starts to get a bit more interesting. This is more becoming what I was expecting from Scotland. We're going into like more upland, heather-clad moors, Tell you what, there's quite a few lorries on these roads, and some of them have got really bad spray suppression equipment, and I'm getting fucking soaked. But anyway, bloody cyclists. So we're going up. So there's a little viewpoint here. Now, there's a lot of car parks like this. They're all marked. They all appear to be free, and I'm not being funny, but if I was in the camper van, this would be amazing. So this is marked on Google Maps as the Marie Curie Cancer Care Field of Hope. So I'm guessing a charity have paid for this, but it's certainly a very nice place. And here comes the camper van, right on cue. Got to say, right, you got bloody camper vans, bloody cyclists, right, and what else you got? Bloody motorbikes. We're all here, right? It's an NC500 thing. Cyclists, camper vans, motorbikes. Everyone seems to be getting on. Anyway, so we're carrying on. We're now going through Strathy, past Strathy Beach. We're still on the A836. We're approaching a place called Armadale. And like a lot of the dales, they do look like Yorkshire. That's because they're dales, probably. And we're now stuck behind the camper van. Look how wet these roads are. It's like the water's just sitting on the roads. Must be dodgy tarmac. But the views from up here, the sun's come out now. The views from up here are quite amazing. You've got these cliffs on one side. We're going over to a place called Betty Hill. Where there is yet another viewpoint marked. And then there's a village of Betty Hill down the other side of this, not quite mountains, these rocky outcrops. Plenty of place to overtake. Especially on this top bit through Betty Hill and Strathy. Don't come here and expect it to be sunny and hot. I did actually last night have a look at the average temperatures, and the summer maximum is something like 12 degrees. So don't expect to be hot. Quite a lot of cattle grids as well. Just remember, go over the cattle grid straight. Don't lean on them, don't brake on them, and don't accelerate on them. I was waiting for that lorry, but anyway, I'll go now. It's a good idea as well when you're passing on these passing places. Just make sure the vehicle coming towards you is actually stopping. Where the roads have been resurfaced, it's beautiful. Look at this. You couldn't wish for a better piece of road. Now then, we're coming down through a place called Ahina, which is just after Betty Hill. This is the River Neva. And there's a town called Inverneva. And yet another bridge. This is what makes the landscape so interesting. There's so many little inlets, so many sea lochs, rivers, etc. And you've got all these nice bridges, causeways, and you're up, down, up, down. There's the bridge over the River Neva. Quite narrow as well. I do like a nice bridge. Yes, that is stunning. No priorities marked on this bridge, you just need to use some common sense. So that's Inverneva, that was the River Neva. That blue sign there is showing you that the people who need to overtake have priority. Okay, it's not a sign I've ever seen before, but people were talking about it in the pub the other night. So basically, when you're behind someone, for example a lorry or a camper van or a car, they are legally obliged to pull into one of the passing places and let you past. Now it has, to be fair, been happening, but as the roads get narrower, we're seeing it more and more. This is an amazing piece. There's another sign there, look. And look at that view! Isn't that stunning? That is Cold Backy, which is certainly an interesting name. And we got another bridge or causeway coming up. Right, so this is Tongue Causeway. I don't believe this firth has a name, because I can't see one on Google Maps, but maybe I'm just missing it. But again, look at this, right, look, there's camper vans. You can park on the causeway in the middle of the firth, and it's free. So we're just pulling over. Not sure what we're pulling over for. Right, so we were pulling over for Ross to take some selfies. I mean, you know. Oh no, we're doing a picture of everybody. Gonna get run over. Right. Cheese. Fuck's sake. Should really hit my helmet. Well, that was quick. Nice little quick, not even a selfie picture stop, and we're going to continue over this causeway. I mean, there's nobody on that beach, but it'd be lovely on a hot day. Don't really get hot days, do they? But how beautiful is it? Right, Ross has indicated for me to go to the front. So I'm guessing there aren't any complex junctions where I won't know where I'm going. So looks like I'm leading for a bit. To be fair, as I've said previously, all of the junctions have got a brown NC500 sign, so you always know where you're going. Right, and there's a bridge. Couldn't have all been a causeway, couldn't it? Makes a change to be at the front, actually. And there's the first junction. The NC turned off, it would say. It doesn't. Right, off we go. Plenty of accommodation en route as well. I mean, they might look like shitty caravans, but they're probably really nice. Just hideous colours. Right, I'm still leading. I think Ross is busy filming people. So we passed a place called Hope Bridge, and then we're back up the other side of a little valley. We're proper following the coast, and it's nice and twisty. Literally every crag on the coast, the road goes round it. The views are phenomenal. There's all these little stopping places like that for camper vans. Down there, so that is Loch Eribol, and that little peninsula with the house on it is Ardniaki, and it's got some lime kilns on it. But how beautiful is that? You cannot fault this scenery. Look at that. Imagine living there. A few people have mentioned as well. Oh look, there's some Mark 3 Escorts, XL3Is. Anyway, right. Some people have mentioned, apparently we go past the house that's in Skyfall. I don't know where it is, and no one's pointed it out. I need to look that up. Another cattle grid, take care. Look how blue the sea is as well. Absolutely stunning. So, what I was saying earlier about it being a police requirement and a legal requirement for slow vehicles to pull aside and let faster moving vehicles past. Okay, not everyone seems to know this. We've been following this Dutch camper van, and I'm sure they're lovely people. We've been following this Dutch camper for quite some time. It's a single track road. We've passed numerous passing places like that one where I could easily have got past, and they're just not bothering. It's really, really starting to piss me off. Finally. Right, I'm going to sneak through. I don't care whether you want me to sneak through or not. There we go. And yes, we still have to get through past this one, but this one might be a bit more sensible. Let's see. There we go. Right, that's it. Off to the campsite. We've arrived at Scourie. The campsite is absolutely amazing. It overlooks the sea, and you've got a little washroom there, and a pub attached to the spa shop. There's my tent. There's me. Really, really enjoyable day riding. That last road, unfortunately, it's not all on the camera because it got a bit wet, but absolutely phenomenal. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.